voting booth in November, whatever else happens, the name George W. Bush will not be on the ballot. And that has everybody excited. Everybody's excited about that. The name of my cousin, Dick Cheney, will not be on the ballot. That was really embarrassing when that news came out. You know, when they do these genealogical surveys, you're hoping, Rosa, that you're related to somebody cool. But Dick Cheney, that's a letdown. Anyway, his name won't be on the ballot, so the era of Scooter Libby justice and Brownian confidence and Karl Rove politics will finally be over next year. It's easy to be against something. It's easy when somebody's promised you compassionate conservatism and you get Katrina and wiretaps instead. To be against that. It's easy when the only mission that's ever been accomplished is to lead us into a war that should have never been authorized and should have never been waged. It's easy to be against that. But the American people don't want to just be against something, they want to be for something. We want to feel the possibility that we can still join together and do great things. To leave a legacy for the next generation. I know because as I talk to the American people, they are desperate for change. Now, all across this country, I mean people who worked in a factory for 15, 20 years. Suddenly the plant moves overseas, the rug's pulled out from under them. They've lost their job, their health care, their pensions. All they can figure out is how to survive on a $7 an hour job at the local Walmart. Half of her face was paralyzed. And she had health insurance, but the insurance company would not pay for the surgery required to restore her face. And she couldn't understand how it is in a country this wealthy that wasn't possible. All across this country, I meet teachers who have to work second jobs just to pay the rent, and who have to dig into their own pockets to pay school supplies for their classroom. Everywhere I go, I hear this. All across this country, there are children in dilapidated schools. I was in South Carolina. There was a school built right after the Civil War where children are still having to learn. The auditorium's completely collapsed. Some of the kids are learning in trailers right next to railroad tracks. Every time the train goes by, the building shakes and the teacher has to stop teaching. All across this country, I mean young people who have the desire, the will, the grades to go to college, but don't have the money. Some of them have to borrow $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 worth of debt. They've got a mortgage before they ever graduate. They're in the hole before they've even started on their lives. Of Iraq and Afghanistan, who are proud of their service, and rightfully so, because they have done everything that's been asked of them. They have performed magnificently on behalf of this country. But those veterans, they wonder about the wisdom of a mission that's cost us so dearly in blood and in treasure. And they think about those they've left behind. And sometimes I meet veterans who are homeless and disabled who don't understand how the country could have forgotten their service. And sometimes when I'm shaking hands in a rope line afterwards, I'll have to hug a mother who weeps silently as she thinks about her fallen son or her fallen daughter. And all across this country I meet proud Americans. They love their country. Patriots, all of them, who don't understand how our standing in the world could have fallen so sharply, so quickly. They are proud of this country, but they are ashamed of Guantanamo, and they're ashamed of Abu Ghraib. They're ashamed that our civil liberties have been undermined and that habeas corpus has been suspended, and they don't understand how it is that we can still argue about whether or not we torture in this country. They are patriots, and they want our cherished values and ideals restored everywhere I go. And they know we've got a lot of work to do. I tell them I am confident in my capacity to lead this country in a new direction. That I am not afraid of what lies before us. Our greatest days are still ahead. But I also tell them I can't go there without you. I can't do this by myself. You have to be ready for change. You have to want a new direction in this country. It's not going to happen on its own. It's not going to happen just because I run for president. You've got to want it. But if you want change, if you are ready for change, then we can go ahead and tell the lobbyists their days of setting the agenda in Washington are over. They have not funded my